Good morning, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for Researching Your Digital Marketing Presence to Unlock Opportunities, where we'll be opening up the hood and sharing some of our research strategies, tools, and techniques. I'm Ben Weesey, the General Manager here at WSI B2B Marketing, but today I'll be your host and producer. Before I introduce Hugh, let's do a quick tech check as people start filtering in here. If everyone could chat and say that you can see me and hear me okay, we'll move on. All right, anybody chat me? Can everybody hear us and see us okay? All right, we'll do a Q&A at the end, but please feel free to use the Q&A function and I'll be manning that throughout, and then we'll ask some of those at the end. So let's get started. Leading us today is Hubert Hopkins, a former nuclear submarine captain, former president of an integrated defense company, and most recently, president and founder of WSI B2B Marketing. Hugh, take us away and unlock our opportunities.
Hey, thanks, Ben. I'm having trouble sharing my screen, though. It says the host has disabled me. So see if you can fix that real quick while I say thanks to everybody for jumping on this morning. You know, we just want to share some of our secrets for how we research companies. We do this a lot as we try to show value to companies. We always want them to understand where they start with digital marketing and what the opportunities are around their market. So we're going to show you a little bit about how we do that this morning. And please ask questions if you got them. If it's something I can stop and Ben can interrupt me and we can answer it right on the spot, that's what we'll do. We'll have a little Q&A section at the end, as Ben said. So there'll be an opportunity to do that. So please ask if you have those. So let me get the screen sharing going. Presentation. Okay, so the key question that we want to talk about today is whether or not your online marketing really supports your business growth strategy. And what we do is work with companies who are growing and who know that they need to tap into the internet to grow their revenue and sales. So that's what we want to show you if that's a possibility. So there are three most important, most critical areas, if you will, for this. First of all is the website. The website is where the action occurs. It could be a website, a landing page, could be a Facebook page, a social media page, but somewhere there is a place for people to get information, get what they need, pick up the phone and call you, or possibly they download a white paper, leave their email, so that you now have a lead, an email lead. So the website is where the action happens. So we really want to take a close look at that. Second place is traffic generation. So you can have the most beautiful, fully resourced website in the world, but if there's no traffic going to it, no eyes on those pages, it doesn't do you any good. So we're going to talk a little about how people get on pages and keywords and search and that sort of thing. So traffic and having more of it is very important. And the last thing that's important is, do you have goals set? Do goals flow down from your business and your marketing goals into your digital marketing goals? Are you measuring your achievement of those? Because if you're not doing that, again, the first two things don't matter too much. If you don't have goals, you don't know where you're headed. So moving on a little bit, let's see. These are the four tools primarily we're going to talk about today. And they all have free versions, but different values. Google, there's two tools we want to use. One is the keyword planner that we use almost exclusively for our basic our basic keyword research. And then the other is analytics, which pretty much everybody has on their websites these days. If you don't, please get analytics on your site. Analytics is free. The keyword planner can be used if you're using Google Ads. If you're not, then that's not available to you. And then the next tool, SEMRush, our SEO tool, has keyword research built into it if that's something you need. SEMRush has a 7-day trial, so that's available to you. We use SilkTide. There's several of these out there, automated digital presence, digital analysis. We use one that has a simple tool and then a more complex tool. And it again has a free version for 30 days, I think. And then the last thing is a little more advanced. If you want to do some eye tracking looks at your website, there's a tool called ThingGUI, which is a great tool. But as I said, a little more advanced. You need to understand a little bit about how to use it and what the heat map kind of data means. Now, by the way, I'm going to send you these slides if you're interested. Just chat and ask for them, or send us an email. We'd be happy to send you these slides. Also, the video will be available afterwards. So no need to take terribly copious notes. We can get that information to you. So the next thing I want to talk about is our process for digital marketing, because if you're going to do a research into what your digital marketing status is and the opportunity is, you need to understand the whole process. So this really hasn't changed in the 15 years that Ben and I have been doing this. So it starts with a great strategy, a business strategy, a marketing strategy that flows down to a digital marketing strategy. And then, as we said, the website is the centerpiece of all this, where all the action occurs. And then from that, you need to drive traffic to the website. So really 3 key ways to do that. One is search engine optimization for high Google rankings. Second is paid advertising, or we call it pay per click, which is, there's different versions of that, but it's Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, all of that. And then there's social media itself. Now there are others like email marketing, direct marketing, trade shows, other things like that can be used to drive traffic to your site. But those are the 3 biggest ones. Once you have people on your website, you have good traffic, good information on your website, the next step is to work on converting that traffic into leads. So assuming these are somewhat qualified leads, you want to get an email address or have people pick up the phone and call you. So that's a whole science and art that Ben's an expert at. How do we get people's lead information once they do visit the website? And once you have a lead, that's great, but particularly in online digital marketing, a lead is usually pretty cold. Occasionally that's not the case, but 95% of them are pretty cold. So you need to nurture them, retain them. And those tools are email marketing, social media work that you do, anything to get back in front of them, like videos or webinars like we're doing today. All those things work to retain clients. So then last but not least, wrapped around the whole outside of this is analytics, testing, understanding what's happening in your digital marketing process, and then continuously improving. And now that we've talked about process, what we want to do next is move off into keywords. We're going to do a little bit about search and how that works, how we research search keywords, and then move into websites, and then a couple of other things we'll talk about. So the first step of this is to figure out what you're currently ranked for. You want to know what your starting point is. So the example we used is a client we did some work on a while back now. And they sell charge air coolers and heavy duty radiators for diesel trucks. So here we did some research in the keyword planner all around charge air cooler. So you can see over on the right-hand side, the data, pretty simple. It's the keyword itself, what the position is, the ranking in Google. So if you're on page 1, say you're ranked number 3, that's good because you got a reasonable chance of some people clicking on your organic link there. And then it also shows us the search volume. So volume is monthly searches on Google in the United States. There's other data available, but that's things you'll learn if you go out and use a keyword planner. You'll see there's a lot more data available from that. So a couple of these terms like charge air cooler down at number 9, that's 880 searches per month. That's a pretty good volume of searches, particularly for something that costs $1,000 a piece and is good profit. And then charge air cooler tester, a couple hundred of those, that's great. So our conclusion was we could really dominate these keywords. The client actually started with high rankings, right? You're on the first page for these keywords. And so we can move those up. There's a huge difference between number 10 and how many searches you get, and number 1 and how many clicks you get. So that's very important. So let me jump out of this just a second. And I want to show you the tool itself, the keyword planner. Well, making me nervous now, I'm sorry. We go down to planning, keyword planner. we're going to go to discover new keywords. And we're going to do sales training. It's actually pretty simple. I'm going to say get results, and it's going to show us the data. Here's the data on the term we searched on. So sales training. You can see it has 3,600 searches per month, high competition. And this shows you what it would cost you to do paid advertising on Google. So then it goes on down and it shows other related keywords, such as sales training programs, sales courses, and it gives you all that same data. So you can see it's a wealth of information. In fact, it gave us 728 keyword ideas. So that's tremendous place for you to go and start to look at what you should be found for in that keyword planner. Okay, so we're going to go back to the PowerPoint. You can see the PowerPoint now, Ben?
We indeed.
Okay, so here we've for our client that in the last place we had gone out to SEMRush and figured out what keywords they were ranked for. That was a SEMRush search. Now we've been out to the keyword planner and looked for what kinds of keywords might be good for them to be found for. And here's just some of the basic data we found. We can organize this a lot better, but we found things like heavy duty truck radiator, only 50 searches a month. Things like intercooler, which may not be as closely related, over 10,000. And then we had air cooler, which down at the bottom here, which had 12,000 searches a month, which got us pretty excited. So that's the kind of thing the keyword planner tells you, and you get that data, but then you have to go check that. And you're really looking for three things here. You're looking for keywords that have the highest volume, the lowest competition, and the ones that are the most profitable. So that's always a balancing act, because getting two of the three is easy, but getting all three can be hard. So you also want to look at what actually gets listed. So I mentioned air cooler. So when you've got some data about how many searches per month for related keywords, you got to go look at what your ranking is, who's ranking on the search results page. This is a Google search results page. Where your competitors are ranking. Can you compete? What does it tell you? It turns out if you look at these images, a little hard to see, but these are all personal coolers, like little fans and little small room coolers. So air cooler wasn't really a keyword that was very relatable. It just wasn't relevant to our particular client. So it's an iterative process, as you can see. It's a matter of doing some basic research, finding out the search volumes, then going to Google, doing actual searches, see what that particular keyword looks like and whether that makes sense for your company. So once we have that data, then we want to go back into SEMRush, which I'll show you that tool here in just a second too. So then SEMRush can tell you, you can do this fairly quickly for your competitors. And we did it for 5 competitors. If you look at the columns from left to right, you got the company, what we estimated they spent per month in Google. There weren't very many in this particular market, but there were other people that were spending big time, just not the competitors that our client had given us. And then looking at the third column, how many visits per month that spend resulted in. So in the case of General Radiator, they spent $229 in Google ads and got 160 visits. So a little over $1 a visit. That's pretty good. Expected to be pretty good return on investment. The last 2 columns, or next to last and the third from the last, are around search engine optimization and the organic rankings. So what we're looking at there is how many keywords are on the first page of Google in total, including branded. So you can see Northern Factory at the top had 500, almost 600 keywords ranked on the first page, getting 6,500 visitors a month. So that's pretty good. I'd be pretty happy with those results for most of our clients. Some of the rest of the companies, not so much. The Radiator Pros, you can see, had a lot also. So they had a couple of pretty strong competitors and 4 of the companies that weren't so strong. So let's try this again, see if we can pop out and look at SEMRush and just show you that tool. And See my screen now, Ben?
Looking good.
All right, so this is a SEMRush tool. You can see it over here again, 7-day free trial. This is another client, Azure Strategies. And you can see what we're looking at here is a domain overview. It says they've got 3,800 searches, or excuse me, clicks per month, visits per month into their website. This shows some information about advertising. The organic traffic is in this chart here. So you can see they get almost 4,000, the 4,000 visits per month that we said, but you can see how it's gone up over the last couple of years. So we've done well for this client. Next little graph here shows that total of keywords that they're ranked for. So you can see if you look at the top 3, they're ranked for 56 keywords. Sorry to have that going on and off. 56 on the first page of Google, a couple hundred, and in total in the first 100 pages of Google, which is not particularly relevant because if you're not on the first page, you're not getting visits, but they're ranked for 3,000 keywords. What that tells us, if we see those 3,000 are those are keywords that if we work at it, we could move into that first page of Google. And if, so we may pick 5 or 10 in a 6-month period and move those up the list. The other thing this tool does for us is tell us what keywords they are ranked for. So that very first step I had as we got into keywords came from this. And these are the keywords they're ranked for. Now, most of these are branded, but the one that says hunter sales mentality here, that's a good keyword for them because that's what they focus on in their sales training. So SEMRush is one of our favorite tools for digging deep into competitive research around keywords, paid advertising, and search engine optimization. Okay, so I'm going to skip back to the presentation here. Okay, so that was our benchmarking competitive, and that concludes the section about keywords and searches and getting traffic on your website. So next I want to move to websites. And there's 4 areas we primarily look for when we compare websites. First is, does it have a lot of resources on the website, a lot of papers you can download, technical information. Most of our B2B clients don't want to put pricing on there, but people come looking for information. And it's a proven fact these days that 85 to 90% of the research your prospective clients are going to do, that research is done on your website before you ever hear from them via email or a phone call. So that information is vital. We look for a nice modern look. People want to know that you have a modern look. When I look at a website that looks 10 years old, that's an immediate turnoff. It's just, you just see them as non-professional. We look for what kind of conversion tools they use. Do they ask for email addresses to download white papers? Do they have lots of buttons you can click on? That sort of thing, trying to be, what they're really trying to do is ask for the sale on every page. It's just like closing a deal when you go in somebody's office. You need to ask for the sale, and that's what conversion tools do. And last, is it interactive? Is it fun to use? Does it have things, calculators? Does it give you good information that you keep coming back to? If you can make your website a little bit interactive, you're going to be in a much stronger position in your market. So just looking at a few of these, this was the northern cooling systems, radiators, charge air coolers that we talked about. You can see that's a very nice modern look, pretty good looking website. One pet peeve of mine is it doesn't have the phone number on the top part of the website. So you're not really encouraging you to call them, but otherwise pretty good site. This is one that very strong and wasn't in the benchmark competitors, but this is one we found online that our client hadn't told us about. But these guys were all over the internet in terms of advertising and organic results. And you can see they have the phone number up there big and bold, so they do want you to call them. This was our client when we started. And this is where it is today. We're just finishing up a nice online e-commerce store for them, very complex e-commerce store since they're in Canada and they sell in Canada and the US, and the whole thing has gotten pretty complicated, but it's a ton of fun. So you can see the more modern look is a lot better. So this is, next thing I want to talk about websites is an automated tool called SilkTide. And this is a competitive assessment we did for one of our clients against 4 other companies. And you can see it grades the 4 competitors in different areas and gives you red, yellow, and green boxes for how the status is. Our client actually did pretty good compared to some of the others. But this tool is used for a good quick look. Again, SilkTide has a more complex version called WebScan, and it can go really down in detail. It gives you about a 100-page report if you want it. These tools are available with a 30-day free trial also. This is the Thing GUI. This is one of their displays. It's called a heat map, and it shows you where on the page people's gaze comes when they first get on the web page. And you can see they first go on the logo, which is where most people's eye usually focuses, is in that upper left corner where the logo is. They want to do 2 things there. They want to make sure that they're in the right place, they got the right website, and 2, that they trust you. So, okay, I'm in the right place. And then next, they're going to focus on faces. You can see that. Then there's some green places, some other places where they focus. You know, you have to ask, is that where you really want the focus to be for that first homepage? Okay, then on Google Analytics, and I'll pop out and show you an analytics site in just a second here. But there's 4 things that you will want to look for on your Google Analytics. So, you know, if you're analyzing your digital marketing presence, looking at analytics is a critical piece. So what is the volume? Do you have, you know, is the volume going up like we showed earlier? Or is it going down, or is it stagnant? Is it big, large? You know, if you got 35 visits a month on your website, the website's not working for you. You know, you're just wasting your time. Look at what the top visited pages are. So that's pretty easy to find. I'll show you that in just a second. Are they the most important pages? Usually it's the home page, but then you look down at number 3 or 4, and that's where you can ask yourself, is this where I want people going on my website? And then what's the bounce rate of that? Bounce rate means they come into a page and they leave from that page without seeing anything else. So you don't want high bounce rates on pages because that means people aren't staying to absorb anything else on your website. So, and then unless they're coming to look for a phone number or something, that page is not effective. Third thing is, do you have goals set up? Well, are they the right goals? Do you have small goals, little mini goals? We call them little steps along the sales process to show you that you're making progress. And do you have, you know, are you meeting your goals? What's your expectation for those? Last is you can look at details like the device people might be using. You're going to find that, at least for our clients, it's getting up over 60% for people using mobile devices. So that's changing more and more and more all the time. You can also use it for demographics data of who's visiting your website, how old they are, women, men, that sort of thing. Most of our clients, that's not too significant, but if you're in a consumer market, that's vitally important. So let's take just a quick look at analytics. Move this out of the way. There we go. All right, Ben, you can see that now?
Yep, Azure Strategies Analytics.
Okay, so this is analytics. You can see organic search. This pie chart shows where your website visits are coming from, and in a fairly simple way. It says most of theirs are coming about 70% from organic search. We consider that good. Here's the data shown a different way. You can see, you know, are you getting conversions from these various sources? You can see referrals is good, 10% conversion. You can also see that bounce rate number. You can see that the organic search, 65%. That's a little high. We'd like to see that lower, but that's what it is. You can also see, down here to behavior, you can see pages. So I talked about that. Here's where you can look at individual pages. So here you can see homepage gets like 1,700 visits per month. Sales training seminar, 1,200. That's good because that's the business they're in. An aptitude assessment test, almost 1,000. So these are very important pages. DISC assessment. DISC is one of their key competitors. That's getting 800 searches a month. So this is really working. you can really see that that in this case, at least, we're getting traffic on the right pages on the website. These are bounce rates over here. And so those are reasonably good, actually. So bounce rate here. So, 60% on online sales training, that's not great, but the rest of these are pretty darn good. Okay, so that's analytics. Let me pop back. We're almost finished here. That was analytics. Very important that you be looking at that. Most leaders want to see that once a quarter if they're involved in the marketing effort at all. So some other things that you might ask that we can't really go into too much here, but are you doing email marketing? What's the effectiveness of this? What are open rates? There's some standard metrics that, but is your email marketing program producing results? Are you using some sort of CRM system? And then the next step up that we're using on all of our clients now is a marketing automation system, which lets you do more sophisticated things, lets you do automatic nurturing follow-ups and set up tracks, if you will, for automatic nurturing. It scores your leads to tell them when their sales ready. So it integrates a CRM and a marketing automation tool. And then you need to ask, well, what about your traditional marketing, your social marketing? How does all that integrate with your digital marketing? Is it really integrated, or is it little stovepipes? Are you doing 2 out of the 3, which is probably not a good idea. And then last but not least is, what are your goals, your growth plans versus what you find in this research? Is it really making sense toward your goals? So usually, after we've done this, there are always unique things that we find for each client who we go through this research for. But, if I had an overall recommendation to tell people who might be looking at this webinar, I'd say first, get the basics right. Do things sort of in order of the process diagram we showed earlier on. Get your strategy straight, get your website looking good, have a lot of resources on it, start generating more traffic to that website, however is best for you, converting that traffic to leads, nurturing those leads, then analyzing and testing. Metrics are vitally important. We principally, if I had 2 metrics that I love more than any other metrics, it's leads as some sort of leading metric, could be raw leads, could be leads at a certain stage in the process, and then sales as a lagging metric. So there are others, but if you just focus on those couple of metrics, your digital marketing is going to be a lot more successful. Some other tools that we do, just for information, we do that traffic boost research, just the SEO paid advertising part. We've got a research quick look, which is basically this with a few more steps in it that we do frequently for potential clients. We have a persona workshop, which focuses on who you're trying to sell to. And then that persona workshop is a part of a bigger digital marketing blueprint that we actually charge for, but it's 40 or 50 pages of hard-hitting strategy and tactics of how to take your digital marketing to the next level. So 3 steps to the success is analyze, set the strategy, and go execute. So questions? I'm going to stop sharing this, Ben, see if you had any questions.
Yep. Nope, nothing has come through so far. So I just asked a reminder, everyone. But...
All right, very good. Well, it's a pleasure having everybody on the webinar, and hope this is helpful to you. And go ahead, Ben.
I do have a question. How long does the process usually take?
Oh, it usually takes, for us, we can do it probably in about an hour of work. If you've never done it before, it'd probably take you 2 or 3 hours just to get signed up for the tools. If you don't have them already, assuming you don't have them, it'd probably take you 3 hours to sign up, run the tests, and report back.
Great. And then Victoria, we'll send a follow-up email with all the slides and a recording of today as well. So be on the lookout for that.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for hosting, Ben, and appreciate people that were on, and catch you next time at our next webinar. Thanks.
Thank you.